You know what this is, Colby?
Oh, what's that, Barry?
It's a ring to signify purity. And you have to hold on to that ring until one day you could trade it in for the golden ring. Which means you could finally do it. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Theme music.
We took a couple weeks off for the holiday, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Welcome, guys. Happy February. Hope you guys are lining up those dinner reservations.
Right, yes. Hopefully you made your reservations weeks ago.
Exactly. You guys should really do it around like the middle of January, depending on the city.
Right.
You know, maybe your partner is a more simple person. A rack of ribs and it's all good, you know. But I think we've always said on this podcast that love stories are hard to do.
Yes.
Because they're boring.
Right, so they're easy to do. They're just hard to do well.
Yeah. But in true Who Watches This fashion, we had to put our little spin on it, right?
Right, we can't just like throw you out 4 rom-coms in a row. That's
four great Drew Barrymore rom-coms. You know, Never Been Kissed, 51st Dates.
right.
Which Never Been Kissed is an amazing movie. It's a nice guilty pleasure movie for those of you. But no, we had to do the love stories with a twist.
Oh yeah.
And so for this month, we are going to be doing love stories with monsters, ghouls, and sirens.
Beauties and the Beasts.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't know which one's the beast.
Right.
Case in point, today's movie. Now let's go to our first segment, our movie trailer.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, this one was kind of like, I was like, I don't know how to do this one, but this is like Jaws met Carrie. A tale about a vagina that can kill, metaphorically and literally. Hold on to your hanging members and make sure to get consent, or else those family jewels might become doggy snacks, because we're talking about 2007's Tea.
Was this really 2007? This was that old?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like,
I guess I didn't look, and I was just kind of assuming it was like a 2013, 2014 kind of movie.
No, I think this came out like around the same time like movies like Slither came out.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is still like pretty out there as far as
yes.
You know, like who's really like clamoring for a vagina dentata movie. But you know what? This movie would perfectly fit in today's climate.
Yes, because I saw it a long time ago, and I feel like I appreciated it more watching it this time.
Oh, right, because before, like, we had some silly movies.
Right.
And yeah, we just like, in the light of early to mid 2000s, you know, the Me Too movement and all that stuff hadn't happened yet. So a lot of backdoor, I don't know how to say it. Like, yeah, there's a lot of misogynistic things that are like the undertones of people, right? Mm-hmm. Like we would like to think that we were like so like cultured. We had advanced. We had came so far, and yet it didn't really come to light until the Me Too movement.
Right.
And so when this movie came out, it was just like, vagina with teeth. That's so silly.
And it's not a surprise. Like, it's not a secret. I mean, like, it is the title, so it's not like,
yeah.
oh, you told them the spoiler right away.
I believe it's in the tagline of the DVD. Like when you pick it up, it's like her vagine got teeth. And it's I was really thinking about how to talk about this movie, but the movie is is I think it's a pretty simple plot. It's like an hour and 30-minute movie.
Right. Yep.
Not too long. So it's I was like, man, we could really power through this. And I just think it'd be better to like really just talk about the moments that we have, but like first introduce the characters.
Right. Yep.
So I think that would be a better flow for this episode, especially for this movie. So we have our main character Dawn, who we do meet at the beginning of the movie. Her and her mom had gotten remarried to another gentleman.
Right.
And he has a son, and the son is kind of like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah. Maybe a couple years older than her.
Yeah, like maybe 2 years, I think. Not too, the age gap wasn't going to be too far apart. But we do meet them in a little kitty tub or bath thing. Like, that's a lot of things that white people, it's like a white people thing. I never went into any of those things. But like, they're doing things, I guess, Midwestern kids do.
Right. You live in a place that's not warm enough for you to fork out the money to build a pool.
Yeah.
But you do have like one hot summer month, so you get a puddle pool.
Yeah. But then like they're doing something that you're like not too sure about. But the moment he says, "Let me see yours,"
right?
I was like, "Oh, is that what kids do? Is that like a thing?"
It's a thing.
But this is like where like the triggering things start. This movie starts off like, just to let you know, trigger warning for a lot of sexual assault.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not like they don't really take that whole situation lightly, but because of the vagina teeth thing. But yeah, like he gets his finger bitten off, and all you could think about is, wow, did he really try to do that as a
child? Right.
Like I do get like, like younger kids and they play doctor and they show it.
Yeah, I at that age, I definitely did the, you're a boy, I'm a boy, you're a girl, I don't have a sister, you don't have a brother, I'll show me, you mine, you show me yours, because like, how are we really different?
Oh, right. Yeah, it's like a natural curiosity.
Yeah.
And, but, the whole him getting his finger bit was like, oh, he went a little too far.
Yes.
And so we fast forward. So Dawn is now this purity counselor.
Right.
Which she's giving this speech at this like little concert thing. And I was like, that's way more kids than I would have ever seen back where I grew up. Like in LA.
But you got like a Midwest Bible Belt town.
Oh,
yeah. You probably, like, all those kids are probably in church on Sunday, especially the second group she talks to. But yeah, like they're probably all like church going families and stuff. And so, yeah, that's like that you don't teach about condoms, you teach about abstinence.
Right, yeah, so I just figured, because they never really give you a specific town that they're in.
Right.
But because of the context of everything that's happening, the amount of kids that are here and actually serious about this, I was like, oh, this has to be like a Bible Belt city.
Well, you gotta think, maybe it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Didn't like the Jonas Brothers did the whole purity ring thing, and they got like a cult following of the make the vow to save yourself.
Yeah, but then they also sprayed like bubbles on.
Yes, that was before Cake by the Ocean. Yeah,
baby. Oh, it's funny. I had friends like a couple years younger than me that were into Jonas Brothers, and I was like, really. Really? Because before that, you were reciting word for word some Biggie music.
Yeah.
Little Kim music. So you liking the Jonas Brothers is kind of weird. But yeah, no. And so she does have a core group of friends that she's with. They're also celibate.
Right.
But in comes this who could only be really cool in a Bible Belt town. But he's like he was also like one of the guys in the Magicians.
Right. It was actually my very favorite person in Magicians, and I didn't know that. I guess I didn't know he was in anything else. So when I saw this, it took me like 5 minutes to figure out who he was. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh, this is the guy from
The Magicians.
Magicians.
It's because he was sober in this one.
Yeah.
But our main protagonist, Don, is smitten.
Quite.
Yeah, you know, he's tall, he has the curly hair. Like, if he just, like, had put on a couple of piercings, he was totally going to be the alternative boy that shit.
Yep.
Very My Chemical Romance during that time. And so, yeah, they hang out.
Maybe it's the same universe, this and Magicians. He goes out with him, she gets the bite, gunk. He's like, okay, I'm done with girls.
Oh, no, but in Magicians, he still has his penis.
That's true.
Because he's I would say, he's polyamorous. No, what's it called? He's gender fluid.
Yes.
In the Magicians,
Yeah.
he's had relations with women on that show. But yeah, and so really we get them sort of living their everyday life. We see Dawn's relationship at home with her parents. It's typically good. You know, she's not really a troubled kid, but we get to her brother Ryan, I believe is his name. And he just looks like the adult version of Sid from Toy Story.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He is definitely just not a happy camper. He's just angsty and mad, and just he's got a pet Rottweiler.
All of this dude's scenes is just in his bedroom, and he gets one scene where he punches a guy in front of his house.
Yeah.
But this guy never leaves the house. But he has a little alternative girlfriend that makes the comment like, you know, I have a vagina, right? And I think he doesn't remember, but he's traumatized by vaginas.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, we see that relationship. It's very. What he wishes is that Dawn would get stuck in the laundry machine.
Yes, definitely. OnlyFans stepbrother page.
Yeah, because he, like, in one of the scenes in the movie, he gets angry at his dad. He's like, "Why did you marry her mom?
Yeah.
I was in love with her when I was 8, and it had carried through.
Oh, right.
Now she had become the forbidden fruit."
Yeah. Yep.
And so, yeah, we get glimpses of that relationship. She does have a decent relationship with her parents. Her mother's unfortunately sick.
Right.
At the time, and her father is nice. Like, he's not.
He's nice, but he's
stern.
weak.
Oh, he's weak.
Yeah, and he there's a couple times he tries to stand up to Ryan, and Ryan's just like, dude, get the hell out of my face. And Dad's like, okay.
Yeah, at that point he should just call the cops and remove him from the premises.
Right.
He's like, you're no longer allowed in this house, right? But it is what it is. And then so we get clips of Dawn going to school. She's getting made fun of because she's the angel of the purity group.
Right.
Her friends are there, like, you know, she gets bullied, but it's not to the point where it's bad, right? Obviously everyone's like, "Oh, what's up, virgin?" Which her, she's like, you know, it's a what's it called? A badge of honor.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, we see the classroom where they're in biology, and they had what's it called? Covered the picture of the vagina.
Yep.
She makes a statement. She's like, guys, our purity is blah blah blah. Everyone's making fun of her.
Yeah, because they're like, how come they showed the man's penis, but they put a big sticker over the woman's vagina? And the teacher won't even say the
word vagina, right?
Yeah, it's like, this is the penis, and on the next page is the female reproductive organ.
Right? And then what did she say? It's like, she's like, oh, we have to protect our modesty. And yeah, she calls it the modesty.
Right. Yeah.
But and then what's it called? Eli from the Magicians is like, guys, he tries to back her up, and they're like,
right. And then there's also the other nerdy guy in the class who's also kind of like hot on her, and he's like the Ducky from
from 16 Candles.
From 16 Candles, like that that kind of character.
Yeah, he does hit on her, but like, she doesn't really pay it any mind because she's stuck on Eli from the Magicians.
Yep.
And so, they go on a date. Her other friends are like making out, but then the girl stops it. When the guy's engines are revving, it's like it's hard to put the foot to the gas, though it's the brakes.
Right. Right, because they go to a lake and they're like, this is the makeout lake.
Yeah.
Over behind the waterfall. There's a little like cave, and that's where the people go to do their things. Their impure acts.
It is disgusting when we finally get to that cave, though. We'll touch base on that. But so Dawn does go on a private date with Eli.
Right.
They're at the river. She comes in a very modest bikini, and he's like, oh. They go to the lake. They start swimming, and then they go into this cave.
Right.
It's disgusting.
The moist cave of like just
Of wonders.
of slimy algae. I don't know. It just I was like, I wouldn't put my naked body on against anything in that cave.
The worst part is, right, in that cave, there are comforters. And she wraps herself in those comforters, and I was like, dude, there are juices of how many people on that.
Like, yeah, it's just yeah. Oh.
Right?
Just crispy blankets.
Oh, God. No, because the moisture from the waterfall keeps it nice and moist.
Oh, just the whole cave smells like wet ham.
Oh, man. And then, like, she tells the guy, because they do share a kiss in the river, she's like, no, you have to stay there. But he's like, it's freezing cold in this river, right? And this lake.
And you've got that puffy blanket that I would also like to get under.
Yeah.
And hopefully not get hepatitis.
But so he goes up and, they cuddle next to each other, which is like a nice moment. Right. If he didn't do what he did next and starts to get very physical and aggressive with her.
Yeah.
To the point where he yells out, I haven't jerked off since Easter. Like, whoa, that sounds like a you problem, dude. You can do that on your own time. But then he ends up like knocking her out.
Right. It's a little of her slipping on the rocks and hitting her head. And she's not really like unconscious, but she's like dazed because she banged her head.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, if you can't say no, that means yes.
I was like, wow. And then so he starts to sexually assault her. But then when she comes to, that's when the jaws of life come.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, dude, they show it in all of its gory glory.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the scene from Sleepaway Camp when you found out Angela was a man. Because he's standing there with his dick chopped off, and she like walks. Does she walk? No, she doesn't walk away. That's later on.
Right.
But she pulls it out of her, and it's just,
and then just like tosses it into the rocks. And he stumbles backwards and then just screaming, jumps in the water, and then just disappears.
Yeah, he just falls into the river, and that's the end of the Magicians. And so obviously she's like super distraught, but then at this point she's like, she's never looked at her own vagina.
Right.
Because for guys, you look down there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Right.
But for her, she's never. I've heard, women have told me, they're when they're younger, they had put a mirror to look at their own junk.
Right.
And she had never done that, so she gets the book she gets the bio book, and she she's like,
Yeah.
she rips off the sticker.
Right, she soaks it in like water, so the sticker, and she pulls it off, and it's like the first time
She's seen a vagina.
and then she's also like kind of looking at it to see like where are the sharp parts of this. How could this hurt somebody?
Right. And so she decides to go to an OBGYN for the first time.
Yep.
And so I've gotten conflicted like tellings of this scene because I don't know how that procedure works of checking all that stuff, but like from other people's like reviews of the movie, they're like, oh, he like sexually assaulted her. Like, because I was like, 4 fingers is a lot.
I took it as after he starts the procedure, he stops and then he takes his glove off, and I feel that's when it went from
Is that what happens?
doctor to predator.
He took his gloves off?
One of them.
Oh man, I do not remember that. I just remember him like lubing it up, and I was like, man, 4 fingers is a lot. But I didn't know that he took off the gloves because like during the whole procedure, he's like, relax. You know,
Right.
It's the same speech I got during my prostate exam. Because I think I almost fainted. I was like hyperventilating. But like, too much information. But like, you know, but then he gets his fingers bit off and he starts yelling, vagina dentata's real.
Yeah. And it grabs him, and then she doesn't know what to do, so she basically gives him in like an arm bar. And so then he can't even get his hand out of it because he's like all wrapped up in her legs too.
Yeah. And I love these scenes because the scenes after is like them in the surgery room getting stuff reattached. And so she's distraught. You know, she's out of her mind at this point. She doesn't know what's going on with her. And she Googles it or Yahoo's it, whatever the search engine they use in this movie. And she's like, oh my God, it's vagina dentata. And
Right. And she reads that this like it's like this myth from like all these different cultures all have like this same myth, and that like it has to be real if there's like that many different stories about it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was like, is that real? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's fucking real.
Yep.
I do remember, I think a couple of like, maybe like a decade ago, I remember India had created something like that to prevent sexual assault. So like women would like insert it like a tampon, but then inside of it was like razor it's like pointed spikes.
I remember also hearing stories about that in the Vietnam War.
Oh.
The girls would do that because the soldiers would come back and they'd get drunk and the girls would have.
Yeah, there's a movie about that, remember? With Michael J. Fox, John Leguizamo. Yeah, do you remember that movie?
I don't.
Yeah, it's a movie where like they're like a group of like platoon. They're like a platoon, and they had captured this Vietnamese girl, and Michael J. Fox was trying to help her escape because they were assaulting her the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I watched that movie when I was 6, and I was like, whoa.
That seems like a very serious movie for Michael J. Fox to be in.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh man. But yeah, back to the movie. So after that, you know, she finds out a hero must conquer her vagina for the teeth to go away. And so the other nerdy guy,
right?
She runs to him after like an assembly. She freaks out and she ends up taking her home. He's very pushy. Like he's one of those like, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so like after like she rebukes him, he goes to her house, gets beat up by Brian, the brother.
Yeah.
But after the OBGYN, she runs to this guy's house. And you know, she's like freaking out and all that stuff, and he's like, "Oh baby, don't worry, you should go to the bathroom." Cuz this is after they find out that magician guy is dead.
Dead, yeah.
And so she's obviously freaked out, you know. That happened.
She's like, I gotta go to the police and let them know that I'm a murderer.
Right.
And he's like, you're not a murderer.
Oh, baby.
You're beautiful.
So creepy, right? That whole scene, and she's like, you should go to the bathroom, take a bath, relax. And while she's doing that, he's like,
because you're
lighting
still
up.
going to be a murderer tomorrow, and you're going to go in to the police with a much clearer head, and be able to explain this better if you just relax,
Take a night,
just take
And he's like lighting up candles. He's, putting on the lavender scented candles to relax her.
Yep.
And, and he kind of he puts the moves on her.
And he gives her one of his mom's nerve pills.
Yeah, that's where she kind of knocks out, because when she wakes up, he's using this finger vibrator on her.
Right.
And, for her, it's like almost like a sexual awakening, because it was about her.
Yep.
So he was like trying to make sure she felt comfortable and all that stuff. And so, like, as he tries to, perform coitus, he's like, she's obviously worried. She's like, no, everyone that's put something there hasn't gotten it back.
Right.
But
and he was like, let me be the hero.
Yeah, let me conquer.
Who conquers.
All right, it is very, like, for him to touch her while she's like knocked out, very bad.
Right.
But, like, he's putting her at ease. He's like not aggressive, and so she's comfortable, and they have sex, and she's like, oh my gosh, how are you still alive? Why didn't the teeth come out? And
he's half thinking she's a nutball, because like that's not real.
But she's obviously, this is a sexual awakening for her. She's like, oh, sex, oh, this is pleasurable, this is good when I'm okay with this situation. Right. And so, like, the next morning, she's like looking at her body, she's being more confident. She's like, oh, I'm sexy. She's checking herself out in the mirror when her boobs out, and I was like, oh, A-class movie. But she's like, I still have to go to the police to turn myself in.
Right.
And he's like, oh, but baby. And he like pulls out the little finger wand, and she's like, oh, okay. I
don't have to go quite yet.
Yeah. So they started doing it again, but he gets a call in the middle, and he's like, I told you, bro. I told you I could get her to sleep with me. Oh, wrong move, because Jaws of Death comes out.
Yep.
But this time she's not freaked out.
No.
She's like, oh, I can't believe I let you do that. And chomps his dick off. But unfortunately, while all that happened, her mom dies.
Yes.
And while her mom is like lying on the floor dying, her brother is going back door on his little druggy girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so she goes to the hospital. She makes peace with her mother's death, but then she finds out from the girlfriend. She's like, I'm so sorry. Ryan says that happens all the time, and I shouldn't worry.
Yeah, when your mom was screaming for help, he was just like, ignore her. She always does that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, And so, before this, while all this happened, the dad does try to he gets physical with Ryan this time, but he gets beat up.
Right, he gets beat up, and then Ryan sicks his dog on him.
Yeah, so, obviously he can't do anything, but Dawn, she goes home. She puts on this little house on the prairie white dress.
Yep.
Like a nightgown, not like the one where they're like frolicking around the prairie. And she puts makeup on, and she's like seducing Ryan. He's like, oh, I know you always wanted to do this.
Yep.
He tries to go back door on her, but she's like, no. And then puts
because she's like, why you want to do that? You scared of me?
And he's like, obviously his manhood is being challenged, so he starts to, go to the forbidden place for him.
Yep.
And nope, he gets the jaws of life. And this is the worst part. It's funny because now like she's, I think, has confided in her powers.
See, I should have brought celery, and every time you were like, and then the jaws of life, I could just bite a piece of celery and just hear that crunch.
Or like a carrot. Yeah, right? Because now she's I think at this point she's accepted who she is.
Yes.
She knows what's triggering the jaws of life. Right. And so she gets up, she walks away with the penis still inside of her, and then relaxes and lets it drop. And this dude has a Prince Albert.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, is that what a Prince Albert is? No. Why would you do that to yourself? And then the dog gets out of his cage and just...
It's a hot dog. It's a sausage.
It's a little Vienna sausage. And you know, now Dawn doesn't have any reason to stay in this town. Her mother's dead. You know, obviously the whole purity thing is now like a fever dream to her.
Right.
And she hitchhikes, or she like bikes out as far as she can, and then she hitchhikes with an old dude. The movie ends with the old dude's like, what's up, man? I mean, you know, I've driven you this far, so how about a little something?
Yeah.
And we just end with like her smiling at the screen.
Yep.
So before we get to talking about this movie a little bit more, let's go to our review section of high star, low star. Kobe, did you want to go ahead with the 5-star?
5-star
or 4-star? Sorry, this was a 4. This is the highest one.
Who didn't give us a 5-star? Okay, so we got Mary from the United States. Was expecting B-rate, but well-made flick. Liked the music, liked the plot, the scenery shots were cool. I was expecting this to turn into a B-rated flick at any moment, but the acting was really good. I'm a horror flick critic at heart. I looked around every corner to find a flaw in this horror flick, but I couldn't find one. Watch out, teenage daters. I bet this makes teenage males think twice about sleeping with the date. Kind of like after watching Jaws when it came out and I was a teenager. I couldn't even swim in a lake for about a year without thinking about a shark biting my feet. And that was just a lake. I couldn't give this movie a 5-star, though, only because I'm a big fan of special effects. This movie did all it could for special effects.
What?
It isn't a special effects type movie with supernatural rings, outer space. So far, 4 stars and well done.
Oh man, no, the practical effects were there. I was like, that's amazing. That's a really realistic penis. You know, I was like, some part of me really wanted to see the vagina with the teeth.
I'm not going to disagree.
And so we have a 1-star from Chris from the United States. He's just like, nope. Teeth starts out in a way that will offend many, which is true. In the first minute, we hear GD from the mouth of a child of 8 or 10 years old. Then he says to his stepsister to B, let me see yours. Offensive, doesn't stop there. A few minutes and a young adult male is trying to feed a dog biscuit to his girlfriend. Oh yeah, that was weird. I stopped about 20 minutes in since it was becoming clear that this movie would be a mockery of teenage sexual abstinence. In our day, the pressure is on young women to have sex in high school. Is it fair to ridicule someone who decides for whatever reasons to avoid that? In our free and open society, it isn't really so free, if you think about it. See, that's not a fair one because you didn't even finish the movie.
Yeah, I hate people who try to give a movie a review without watching the whole thing.
Right? But so, Kobe, I wanted to ask you, as a father to a teenage daughter who is now in college, what did you think about the themes in this movie?
I thought they handled it well. For a horror movie, for what the demon was in this, I thought they did a good job. They made the most of the males likable, but then when they pressed that line, they still got punished.
Yeah.
The brother you hated, and you just from the opening scene, you were like, "Oh, bite his dick off." Yeah. But yeah, that was also an interesting twist that he ended up, 15 years later still being in love with her, whatever. But yeah, I didn't think there was anything offensive to be offensive. I mean, like it was all part of this movie. There wasn't anything that was thrown in there to be.
Yeah, it wasn't trying to push any envelopes, I think. I mean, obviously, a lot of this movie is more about consent. I feel like.
Right. So you've got that theme, and then you've got the theme of a girl who is coming into her own, and both like sexually and with hell, it's almost like a superpower. Like when you you watch a movie about like somebody who gets like a superpower and they don't know how to control it and they end up hurting a few people, and then as they go on, they learn, okay, this is how I control it. Now I can punish the evildoers with my superpower. That's basically what I'm like, in a weird way, that's kind of what she's doing.
Yeah, that's definitely what it comes down to, right?
Right. Especially at the end when like the creepy old guy's all like, hey, and she just kind of looks out the side window at the camera and smiles, and you're like, oh yeah, she knows exactly what she's doing now.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like this. I don't want to say that people that are like in these purity things, your body, your choice. If your choice is you want to, be pure, if you want to wait till marriage, totally fine. The one thing I was like kind of alarmed by is like the amount of like the things that she didn't know about her body.
But I like, I get that too. Like if you're supposed to be pure and you're not supposed to touch yourself and you're not supposed to, it's probably one of those things where like she was honestly surprised when she got her first period,
Yeah.
Like they didn't go into any of that, but like, I mean, they could have to show even how more naive on herself she was.
Right. Yeah. I saw that. I just like, cause I don't know anyone that's been a part of like a purity thing. So I didn't know like, are you guys not doing like science, like, biology, like classes and stuff like that?
Really, like in those kind of towns, that's they're against.
Oh, teaching that?
They're against even, yeah. No sexual education in your in the classrooms.
See, and unfortunately, I like, just from my personal opinion, when you don't do like sex ed, I think those places tend to have a higher pregnancy rate. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that was like one of the things that was alarming. I was like, oh man, is that true? Like, is that how a lot of those people that are like in these little purity places are, that like they don't even know what their own body looks like? I was like, I think you got to teach that too. But that's it's an old way of thinking, right?
Right.
One of the other things that I did like too is that like, yeah, when she became more like, when she finally found out why her vagina was doing that. Why it was biting things that were coming into her. And I was like, I think for me, I was like, oh, that was like her moment of realization, like her epiphany, like, oh, this is why this is happening. If I consent, if I say yes and I'm comfortable.
Right. Yeah. So that the kind nerd who was actually doing a bet, like he probably taught her the most.
Right. And it's like, it's one of those just like experiences that like there was actually some good out of it, even though it was a totally bad experience, right? Because then like, it's funny because on TikTok there was like this whole little trend of like, people saying that if the first time you guys did it she was tight, it's because she wasn't comfortable with you. And like, cause then there was like a trend of videos where some guys were like, "Oh, it was so tight," and then a surge of comments for women saying, "That's cause she wasn't comfortable." And I was like, "Man, thank God this vagina dentata thing doesn't," cause yeah, there would be a lot of castrated men out there. Yeah, because like I didn't like. It's funny because like obviously me being a man, I didn't know that about the body until like much later.
Right.
When because we have these stupid perceptions like, oh, she was loose. It's like, no, she's comfortable with you. She's relaxed.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, yeah, because like they I saw one that was like that, and they're like, you're like, oh, this woman's loose because she's been with 30 guys.
Yeah.
But she's not loose because she's been with the same guy 3 times a day for the last 3 years.
Man, what a marathon that guy's been running. And her.
3 times a week. Okay.
3 times a day for 3 years. Whew. What a wonderful relationship. Unfortunately for some people, they only get on their birthdays. But that's like more like a 40-year-old marriage, or like 30, whatever. But yeah, like I was like, that was nice for her to finally realize, like, oh, I can have sex
Right.
when I want.
Yeah.
And now she has this impenetrable defense.
Like she gets to be her own hero.
Right. It just kind of sucks, though. It's just like they have to get close enough. She feels like she would have been in the Deadpool 2 movie as one of the auditions. Like, I have the jaws of life in my vagina. Deadpool's like, dude, we can't use that. Like, but she'd be a perfect, like Black Widow sex assassin.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wasn't really expecting this movie to hit like all these different themes.
Right. And then there are also I never noticed this, or like this didn't make any impression the first time I saw it, but this time it was super obvious. Their house, like the mom's house, was right next to a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
But as the movie gets darker, it goes from white smoke to like brown smoke.
Yeah.
From the power plants. And then when she finally leaves town and they kind of pan back, there's like hardly any smoke at all. Just the tiniest amount of steam coming out of the nuclear power plant. So it's like, the kind of went along with the theme of the movie.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's why she has teeth in her vagina. They live right next to a power plant.
Right. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if all the women in that.
Well, hey, if nuclear radiation created Godzilla, right? It could create a woman with.
Wait, is that how Godzilla was created?
Yes, Mother Nature was fighting back by creating a natural disaster from the radiation, which was the Godzilla.
Oh, see, in my mind, it was Godzilla got a little bit of like little Ninja Turtle juice on it.
Well, that was supposed to be radioactive too, right? So same thing.
Oh yeah, I thought like what's it called? It's funny too because I thought this movie's like acting was gonna be super campy. And it was, but it was like good. Like it was like good campy acting.
Right.
It wasn't like Sleepaway 3, where it felt like everyone was reading from title cards. Like, what is that? Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, and like the characters in here, like you said, were mostly likable. Except for Ryan,
right? And everybody in here went on to do other things. It's not like these are all like just like this is some low budget flick that used the local
talents,
the local college film class, and then everybody failed the class and went on to become teachers, and everybody in here went on to do other movies.
Yeah, she consistently kept showing her breasts, which I'm really appreciative of.
I'm not sure who she was, but she was in It Too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw that. I didn't know which character she was.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen It Too.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the It series.
I watched the first one. I thought it was great, but then it was like everybody was like, "Oh, and the next one they grow up and it's terrible," and so I never watched it.
Well, yeah, because I think the charm from the first one was like the great child actors that they casted,
right? And
then the second one, I mean, you have very established actors: James McAvoy, the redhead girl, I forgot her name, was like Jessica something. Yeah, you have great actors, freaking Bill Hader,
right?
And so, but then they're like, oh, it was okay.
Now that you said that, now I gotta go see it, and I gotta like.
The Tim Curry version was enough for me. Because like it never really like I know for like we're like a generation apart, right?
Right.
And so I know for your generation, it had scarred so many people with clowns. By the time I watched it, I was like, oh.
See, and I didn't see the first one till way later.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was not much of a horror movie kid, and my mom hated horror movies. So, like, growing up, there was the most minimal amount of horror movies. I saw like Halloween because it was on Halloween, and I saw like American Werewolf in London because my dad loved that movie. But like,
still one of the best werewolf transformation scenes. You know what? The only movie that rivals that is Trick or Treat. During the sex wolf transformation, which took pages from that because there was the skin would rip off, and I was like, ugh. Oh man, yeah, this movie I think it's good. I think it's just a good. It's sort of like a weird movie, but it's a weird movie to show like maybe your teenage kids.
Right, yeah.
Because
this is the kind of the movie that you buy and you watch with your wife or your friends, and then you just leave it near the DVD player for your kids to find and watch on their own.
Yeah, because let's be honest. There's so many kids with phones in their pockets, and they've seen worse now. At this point, but it's a nice movie about like especially for like I think teenage girls where like consent is important. Don't be afraid to fight. Call people out.
Right.
I mean, she doesn't get to do that, like how you would in real life. No, she was castrating people. And she's like, yep, that guy is a rapist.
Right. And I hate to say it, but I'd rather like, rapist, instant karma, boom, lose the tip of your penis. Not,
no, she wasn't just grabbing the tip. She was grabbing like a good chunk. I was like,
then, it's a rapist. Oh, now, were you dressed sexy? Was it your fault? Were you coming on to him? Did he really force himself?
Right.
Should he be punished?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of faith in the justice system, especially after the whole Brock Turner case.
Right.
Where he got 3 months?
Yeah.
Like, I remember being so infuriated reading the judge's comments on that case saying that are like, wow, well, we don't want to ruin this young man's life. I was like, bro, but what about the woman who got assaulted while she was passed out? Her life isn't ruined.
Right. She's
not going to go to a therapist and deal with all those psychological issues. Like, so yeah, if women had teeth.
Right. Yeah, they wouldn't even have to go to court. Right. He just wouldn't be doing that again.
Right. And also, it's definitely going to show up because when you go to the hospital to get your dick reattached, you're going to get so many, fucking rapists.
Right, and even if you're quick, you at least got a scar down the side of it.
Oh, right, yeah, and another punishment is I'm gonna put this upside down. Now you're gonna be peeing like a fountain. You're gonna have a little arch. Yeah, so I was, because I had watched this a long time ago, but really didn't pay attention. I was like, oh, it's another campy horror film. Whatever. And then so now finally sitting down watching this to with my full attention, I was like, man, this movie's good.
Right.
This is on there with Slither and all that stuff. I know one of our reviews had said it's not special effects heavy, but listen, John C. Reilly. Oh no, it's Will Ferrell's testicles in Step Bros cost $10,000 to make. Those are prosthetic testicles. There is about 3 dick tips in here. Those probably cost $5,000 each to.
Right.
And I was not appreciating the hyper realism of. I was like, it's like seeing a guy get kicked in the nuts.
Right.
Oh.
And they could have totally just been guy pull up his pants and then just done like the blood packet in his like underwear, and like they could have tried to go that way, but they didn't. They did actual practical effects on a few of the shots.
Yeah, they wanted to show the visceralness of the situation, especially when you see the first time with Eli.
Yep.
And he's just like standing there like freaking Christian Bale in The Mechanist with his arms like to the side, and the new vagina were constructed for him. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, this movie was great. All right, guys, we're coming up to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. If this is the first time you're joining us, just to let you know, we do our reviews in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and Ultimate Box Collection, which I think our Ultimate Box... You know what? We should do our Ultimate Box Collection is the movies that we have for this month.
Okay.
That would be...
I'm pretty sure that's what I'm picking then. After the first time I saw this, thinking back on it before this week, I probably would have been like, yeah, we'll just stream it. Yeah, because I'll find this somewhere and I can stream it and we can watch it again. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But like, it made much more impression this time. It was, maybe the first time, you go in and you're like, vagina with teeth, and you're just expecting it to be, I don't know, like almost like that person said, like a B movie. You wanted it to be like
super campy,
right? With just
bad acting,
a vagina with just teeth that's like attacking people, or something, and it ended up being way deeper than I remembered, than I recalled. And this definitely has staying power for me. I would definitely, I'd probably pick this up on Blu-ray.
Yeah, same for me. Only, especially because I feel like it would be really nice to get like, the director's take on why he wrote this movie, or like the screenwriter's whole like, thought process when he was making this movie. The director, maybe the impact for for our main actress, what it meant to be in this kind of movie, where because like when I'm pretty sure when a lot of these actors take on these roles, they look over the script. And they're like, we've seen some big actors in small budget films, but but because they like the story,
right?
And it's like it's important to them. Maybe that's why they're in there. And then maybe that's the situation for her. Like she saw the deeper meaning, but
Oh, right. No, definitely.
Past the vagina dentata, but like really in my mind, before they showed, this is funny. Before they showed the teeth that had gotten pulled out with the first guy's penis. I was really picturing like veneers down there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it was much more like Sarlacc pit.
Oh. I guess that's probably what it looks like, right? But it would be so funny if they had a sequel of this movie where it's like Steel Cock. Or The Rod.
Right.
Where one of the other males in here, his penis just turns into a rod, like, when he gets nervous. Oh, man. But great movie. Definitely worth the watch from the both of us. And to let you guys know, we do have all of our Amazon affiliate links down below. If you guys want to help support us, please do so, because you're going to buy stuff on Amazon anyway.
And then we've got our Facebook page. It's probably the easiest way, the Who Watches Us podcast Facebook page. Give us a follow. It's and we post all our new stuff on there, so you see it as soon as it comes out. We got Twitter stuff that we're going to try to be more active on. So definitely follow us there. Just like and share and watch and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, definitely. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music for Podcast 3, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.